I am now very pleased to introduce to you a new graduate of the class of 2007, who has received one of Lafayette's highest honors. She is the 2007 recipient of the George Wharton Pepper Prize. The Pepper Prize was established in 1924 by George Wharton Pepper, an eminent Pennsylvania attorney and United States Senator. Each year the prize is awarded to the senior who, by vote of the faculty and students, most nearly represents the Lafayette ideal. This is the tradition which Danielle has joined as the 2007 recipient of the Pepper Prize. She is both a fine student and an outstanding campus leader. Danielle, congratulations to you.
Thank you. I would like to start by thanking all the family, friends, and faculty who supported the members of the class of 2007 as they opened their minds to new ideas and struggled to identify their unique talents, passions, values, and interests. I'd also like to say thank you to my own parents, my brother, my family, and friends for dealing with me. I love you guys. Debbie Beal, the founder of Posse, talked about the organization in her commencement speech last year. Posse is a leadership foundation, scholarship foundation for inner city kids, and if you know anything about Posse, you know how it got started. A bunch of smart and talented inner city kids are going off to these small, homogeneous liberal arts colleges, but ended up dropping out after only a semester or two. Debbie Beal asked these kids what the problem was, and one of them responded, "I would have never dropped out if I had my Posse with me." And I'm here to tell you today that this is true. I would have never made it without Posse. I'm very grateful to Lafayette for forming a partnership with an organization that provides talented urban high school students an opportunity to attend a college of such high caliber. Now I'm very glad to have attended Lafayette, but when I first got on campus, I hated it. It was like something straight out of an American Eagle ad. It was really hard to be somewhere where everyone was part of a majority to which you didn't belong. In high school, I was one of the few white kids, but aside from a few white kid comments, I rarely noticed that I was part of a minority. It could have been attributed to the fact that it was New York City, but it never seemed to matter until I got to campus. Here, surprisingly, I was considered part of a minority group, although I looked like the majority of campus. It was not just the divide I felt, but also the apathy among many students here. It was a huge culture shock, and it took a lot of growth and understanding to move from intense anger and frustration to productivity and inspiration. During my time here, I was able to build relationships with some of the youth in Easton, and many of them here today. Make noise if you're here. Some use words like disadvantaged, inner city kids, project kids. I use words like inspirational, creative, hard lives. I want them to know that college is possible. I urge my kids to follow in our footsteps and someday be sitting where we are. But I also urge every member of the Lafayette community to remain active and positive role models and inspiration for the youth of today. The things I value most about my Lafayette experience were the opportunities and resources a school like this provides. I studied abroad more times than my passport would allow, in places like Namibia, South Africa, and Guatemala. I've been able to build houses in South Carolina, work with the youth of Chicago, and above all, Lafayette's faculty and administrators supported and challenged me. And as a result, next year I'll be teaching in Indonesia on a Fulbright scholarship, and the following year in a troubled New York City high school through Teach for America. I was able to self-design my own major titled Creative Media and Social Justice, and was even able to co-found a creative arts organization, WORDS, writing organization reaching dynamic students. Looking back on my 4 years, I have written countless poems. This following poem strings together the problems of the world, then moves on into the beauty experience as a child and trying to hold on to that beauty. Like Coldplay, it was all yellow from the suicide bombs igniting the sky, sending shrapnel rain that it ashes the limbs of Lebanese children kicking a ball inside bomb shelters, inhaling dust of casualties that look like them, sang songs of freedom, Jews nuked, hurted, and gassed in chambers, denied women's rights, the raped self-medicate with clothes hangers, tasting HIV tears as they stream down newborns' faces, hate and crime on walls, on brick walls to remind those that are on trial for same kisses. The dichotomy of these races is the hypocrisy of this nation. I have black friends, I have white friends, Latinos and Asians. I have just human friends of different origins and sexual orientations, different denominations. I'm just not friends with discrimination. 9/11 shattered my spectrum. Freedom never costed so many lives. Why keeps popping into my mind? I rewind to the days before I knew their names. Never the victims, always the shooter embroidered on that history page. From Dylan to Eric, even Timothy McVeigh. We turn from tragedy to blame, but I refuse to let this be it. And it's easy to reminisce on the days of the Fresh Prince. Remembering the days when blue was a flavor and laughing until it hurt my side. Days of kickball, handball, and slip and slide. When an eternity was playing Monopoly and war. Before the war, before Manhunt 123, 123 was against Iraqis. Then yo-yos, then Tamagotchis. Summer days of double dutch and football with two-hand touch. Super Mario Brothers and hugs from my mother. Playing Ninja Turtles and pretending to be Raphael. I remember watching the Smurfs and wondering why Smurfette was the only female. Captain Planet saying the power is yours when you actually had to get up to channel switch, when you got a kiss for a cut. But I know that this beauty still exists, and I, with my small hands, can never find the space to hold you correctly, so I backspace over words and never quite capture your beauty. A beauty that floods universal descriptions, as I have danced with Chiapas to cumbia beats, been inspired by Afrocentric poets Brooklyn bred. I have moved to songs of slave hymns, felt the strength in stories of Zimbabwean refugees, and bathed in European waters, washed the guilt from my pores. The way tears ricochet between my eyelashes to blur vision, a beauty to make Webster redefine his definition. Searching for quality, but now we stingily strive independently to achieve what can only be accomplished collectively. I'm imprisoned by my visions for an equal life. I can't beg you to do the same, but if you did, we could figure out how to break free from our chains. We often think of success through monetary value and celebrity status. Rarely do we think of success in terms of happiness, following passions, and making a positive difference. We also tend to find diversity in terms of colors, different races on the cover of a brochure or a website. As the future leaders of this nation, we must not fall victim to these false definitions, or we will promote stratification, ruthlessness, and conformity. This degree opens up doors and opportunities. Make wise choices. And like Debbie Beale said, dream big for yourself, yes, but dream big for our society as well. Thank you and congratulations.